I know what you're thinking. This is a joke, right? How can anyone think that the original 1992 Dream Team had better three-point shooters than the current 2024 team? The 2024 team has Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, sharp shooting sniper Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, who was the 2018 three-point contest winners, and loads of other players that can all shoot the three at high efficiency. 9 of the 12 players in the 2024 team shoot over 35% for their career. Compare this to the Dream Team, and only 3 out of the 12 players shot over 35% for their career. So how on the earth do I think that the 92 Dream Team had better shooters? To answer this question, we need to do a little bit more digging than just looking at career averages for all these players. Today's NBA teams average over 35 three-pointers per game, compared to the 92 season teams averaging less than 8. In fact, the 2024 roster has played a total of 125 seasons, and all but 13 of those seasons, the player averaged over 1.5 threes per game. Contrast that to the 92 Dream Team roster, which played a total of 187 seasons, but had a whopping 125 seasons where players shot less than 1.5 threes a game. Anthony Davis ranks second from the bottom for least amount of three-pointers attempted in his career for the 2024 roster, coming in at 1,145 attempts in 736 games for an average of 1.6 attempts per game. Compare this to the 1992 team's 4 lowest players, Ewing, Robinson, Malone, and Leitner, which totaled a combined 888 attempts in 4,514 games for an average of only 0.2 per game. That means that Anthony Davis takes almost 8 times the amount of three-pointers per game than the 4 Dream Team players combined. A low number of threes means that the statistical averages can have major anomalies. Take, for instance, a free throw shooting contest between Shaq, a 53% career shooter, and Curry, a 91% career shooter. If the contest was just one shot, then Shaq may actually have a chance at beating Curry. But if the contest was 100 free throws, there's almost a 0% chance that Shaq would win. You see, the lower the sample size, the more it affects the results. Larry Bird is a prime example of this. Bird won the first three-point contest with one where he didn't even take up his warm-up jersey. Before the competition, he famously walked into the locker room and asked, "Who's coming in second?" He had a 38% career three-point average, yet there was 4 straight seasons early in his career where he shot less than 1.5 threes per game. In those 4 straight seasons, he only managed to average a measly 26% from the three-point line. So why would his average change so much when shooting so few threes? The answer is that all the end of shot clock and end of quarter heaves drastically weigh down the overall average since the sample size is so small. To see if this theory holds true, I took a 40-game sample size for Jordan during the 97 and 98 season, where I reviewed every play of these games. I noted how many of Jordan's three-point attempts were heaves as the shot clock was running down at the end of the quarters. The results were staggering. 20% of MJ's threes were rushed shots, and if you adjusted his overall three-point average for his career, he would have been a 41% three-point shooter. Now, this is not an exact science, so I decided to review all the seasons Jordan shot more than 1.5 threes per game, and guess what? In all the seasons MJ averaged more than 1.5 threes per game, he shot an outstanding 39%. That was his actual three-point percentage and is without taking any adjustments. So I decided to do the same thing for the rest of the Dream Team roster and adjust their average to only include seasons with over 1.5 attempts. If you do that and list the Dream Team in the 2024 roster and then sort by highest three-point percentage, the Dream Team holds 4 out of the top 6 spots, with only Curry and Halliburton being in there from the 2024 team. But what would happen if the Dream Team roster shot as many threes as the 2024 player shoots? Would that increase their average even more? Players like Karl Malone and Patrick Ewing were known as the greatest shooters for big men that had a lot of range that extended almost to the three-point line. How would players like that do if they started shooting threes? You would think that the great long-distance shooter just inside the three-point line could extend their range and still be a decent shooter a few more feet out. To analyze this, I compared the 2024 team's shooting percentage from a range of 16 feet to the three-point line versus their three-point average to determine if there was a correlation. The ratio between the two averages is shown in this graph, and besides Anthony Edwards and Bam Adebayo, which appear to be outliers, All the players had a ratio between 0.76 and 0.96, with an average of 0.86. Basketball Reference only started recording shooting percentages by distance starting in 1996, and here is what the Dream Team shooting averages were for the range of 16 feet to the three-point line using the data closest to that year. Only Larry Bird and Magic Johnson did not play that long, so we don't have any data for them. If you use the same 0.86 ratio that the 2024 team had, then the Dream Team averages look like this. For Bird and Magic, we will just have to use their adjusted career three-point average. Now, if you overlay the 2024 team's three-point average and sort from highest to lowest, the results are astounding. 8 out of the top 11 spots goes to the Dream Team, with only Curry, Halliburton, and Durant being on the list for the 2024 team. So, in closing, I guess it makes sense that the Dream Team players who could shoot a high percentage from just inside the three-point line would easily have been able to extend their range a few feet out if the three-point shot was the weapon that it is today. When listing all the players' averages from 16 feet to the three-point line and sorting from highest to lowest, it's easy to see that the 1992 Dream Team had far superior shooters than the 2024 team, and it just makes sense that this would hold true even at the three-point line. The old saying of practice makes perfect would hold true, and with just a little more practice, it is easy to assume that the 1992 Dream Team would have had a better three-pointing shooting team than the current 2024 team. Please respond in the comments on your thoughts on this analysis, and always, thanks for watching, and if you could hit that subscribe button, I would appreciate it a whole lot. Thanks for watching.